Long before maps were complete, before the edges of the world were agreed upon, before the sky was understood as empty space rather than intention, humanity imagined dragons. They appear wherever people gathered long enough to tell stories, in the mountains and along rivers, in deserts, forests, islands, and plains. They appear carved into stone, painted onto walls, woven into song, and etched into memory. Sometimes they are serpents, sometimes beasts with wings. Sometimes they breathe fire, sometimes water, sometimes nothing at all. But they are unmistakable. Cultures separated by oceans and centuries invented creatures that look uncannily alike. This is not coincidence, and it is not imitation. Dragons exist almost everywhere because they were never meant to be a single creature. They are a convergence, a meeting point where fear, nature, and imagination overlap. To understand why dragons appear across the world, we must step back into a time when the world itself felt alive, unpredictable, and dangerous in ways we no longer experience. Early humans lived inside nature, not apart from it. The earth shook without warning, storms flattened entire villages, floods swallowed fields, fire destroyed in moments what took years to build. Death arrived suddenly, often violently and without explanation. The world did not feel neutral, it felt intentional. To survive, people had to observe patterns, clouds before rain, animal behavior before disaster, the change in wind before fire spread. These observations became stories, not because people were ignorant, but because stories are how humans compress complexity into something survivable. Dragons are born from this compression. At their core, dragons combine the most dangerous elements of the natural world into a single legible form: the serpent's bite, the predator's strength, the bird's command of the sky, fire, water, earth, storm. A dragon is not one fear. It is many fears braided together. Across cultures, dragons guard thresholds. They live at the edge of the known world, at the mouth of caves, beneath mountains, at the source of rivers, near hoarded gold or sacred knowledge. Wherever humans sensed power, whether destructive or divine, dragons appear nearby. This placement matters. A dragon is rarely just wandering, it is stationed, anchored. It belongs to a place that humans approach with caution. In some traditions, dragons are adversaries, beasts to be slain so civilization can advance. In others, they are guardians, protectors, or embodiments of balance. But in every case, they are tied to power beyond ordinary human reach. This reflects a deeper truth. Humans have always struggled to explain power without personality. A storm without a face is chaos. A storm with a will becomes something you can bargain with, appease, or defy. Dragons give shape to the forces that shape us. Consider the environments in which different dragons emerge. In regions plagued by drought and fire, dragons often breathe flame. In river cultures, they coil through water and control rainfall. In mountainous regions, they dwell in stone and shadow. Their forms adapt to local threats, but their function remains the same. They explain why the world is dangerous and why it is meaningful. Dragons also appear at moments of transition. In myths, they are defeated at the founding of cities, the crowning of kings, or the beginning of new ages. Slaying a dragon is rarely about killing an animal. It is about proving mastery over chaos. this narrative repeats because it mirrors a psychological truth. To build something lasting, humans must confront what frightens them. Not eliminate fear entirely, but face it, name it, and survive it. The dragon stands in for that confrontation. But there is another layer, older, quieter, and more unsettling. Dragons may also be born from memory. Long before written history, humans shared the land with enormous creatures. Bones surfaced from the ground, massive, unfamiliar, shaped like nothing living. Without context, these remains told their own stories. Skeletons of giants, serpents longer than rivers, beasts that could not possibly belong to the present world. To a human mind shaped by storytelling, such remains demanded explanation. Dragons may be fossils filtered through myth, not literal memories of dinosaurs, but the instinctive understanding that the world once held monsters far greater than ourselves, and that it could, perhaps, do so again. Even today, dragons feel ancient in a way few creatures do. They do not feel invented, they feel remembered. This sense of age gives dragons a unique power in storytelling. They do not need justification. No one asks where dragons came from. Their existence feels inevitable, as though the world would be incomplete without them. And perhaps it is. Dragons also reflect humanity's conflicted relationship with power. They are terrifying, but also beautiful, destructive, but intelligent, often solitary, often proud, sometimes wise, sometimes cruel. They are what humans fear becoming, and what humans secretly admire. To wield great power without restraint is monstrous. To wield it with wisdom is divine. Dragons exist along that line. That is why they are not always enemies. In many traditions, dragons are teachers, symbols of order, or embodiments of harmony. They bring rain, fertility, or balance. They are not conquered, they are respected. This duality explains why dragons survive cultural shifts that erase other myths. As societies change, dragons adapt. They move from gods to monsters, from monsters to symbols, from symbols to fantasy, but they never disappear. They are too flexible, too useful, too deeply rooted in how humans think about danger and wonder. Even in modern stories, dragons retain their mythic gravity. They are rarely treated lightly. When a dragon appears, the rules change. The stakes rise. The world feels older and larger. This reaction is instinctive. Somewhere beneath logic and language, the dragon still works. It reminds us that the world was once unknowable, that survival required humility, that not everything could be controlled, that power demanded respect. In an age where maps are filled and skies are charted, dragons persist because they occupy a space science does not replace. They do not explain the world as it is. They explain how the world once felt. Dangerous, alive, watching. Dragons exist in almost every culture because every culture needed them. Not as decoration, not as fantasy, but as a way to give form to forces larger than any individual life. They are the shadow of the mountain before we knew its height, the voice of the storm before we knew its name, the memory of fear refined into meaning. And as long as humans tell stories, that shape will endure. Not because dragons were real, but because what they represent still is.